Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the one item special county commissioners meeting on June 28th. It grew a little bit. So we have a little bit of an agenda today, but we'll get through it. Thanks to everybody who's joining us online, and thanks to everybody who's joining us in person. I'd like to call the meeting to order. 9:31. Commissioner Ibarra.
Here.
Commissioner Gosar is also here. I'm hopeful that Commissioner Richardson's on his way. I hope you would join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 3, the public hearing. I'd like to open up the public hearing for the fiscal year 2021-2022 Albany County proposed budget. Is there anybody in person who would like to speak to the proposed budget for fiscal year 2021-2022? One more time in person. Good morning, Jennifer. Anybody online? Would anybody online like to speak to the proposed Albany County 2021-2022 proposed budget? And last opportunity. Commissioner Ibarra, take a motion to close the public hearing, please. Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Item number 4, comments from the public. Are there any public comments here first in the room, and then we'll go online? Sure, come on up.
Morning, my name is Tim Hale.
Hi, Tim.
I was inquiring just a little earlier if our new sheriff was going to be here, and he had indicated that he was. I didn't know if I don't see him in the room. If there's comments on the Zoom, if you'd like to take those first, and then I'd come back, assuming he returned.
He's on online here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize that. Thank you.
You bet.
As I said, my name is Tim Hale, and I saw on the agenda the recent grant that you're looking for the bullet resistant vest. There's actually no such thing as bulletproof vest. And I thought I'd come down and speak regarding that. But first, I'd like to welcome our new sheriff. I haven't had an opportunity to do that. And I don't know, as you will know, there was a missing vest with our last administrator. And I did some inquiring on this. Allegedly, the vest was stolen. However, there was no police report. And this seems pretty strange that you'd have something stolen of a high dollar value and there's no police report. That seems to fly in the face of taxpayers' the ability to protect taxpayers' money. I checked with some other agencies, and when staff is assigned a particular set of equipment, that they are responsible for it. And on the day they leave for whatever reason, and they can't be held accountable to all the equipment, that it, for the most part, comes out of their paycheck. That doesn't seem to be the case here with our former sheriff. And I think if there isn't a policy, there should be a policy. And the other thing that kind of concerns me is I wouldn't be surprised in the near future that our current sheriff and myself may have a difference of an opinion. Those things can be worked out, but I would like to think that our new sheriff wouldn't resort to the tactics that our former sheriff did. And that is, this was sent to me. It's nearly a full-size picture of our former sheriff. And he says, Timmy, good riddance to you, insufferable twerp. I found this pretty juvenile. I don't know if there's any county money spent on this, but it really looks like I've probably gotten into his head. I think it was really inappropriate. In that vein of county money, is there any truth to, any substance to our former county attorney? I understood used COVID funds to purchase draperies for the office. Anyway, that concludes what I had to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Hale. I would agree with you that piece that you showed is not appropriate. I'm not sure who sent it to you. I certainly hope no county funds were used. But maybe we'll have a better go with this new sheriff up. And we'll just let that go where it is. Any other public comments? All right. I'd entertain a motion to close the public comments. Second, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 5, disclosures. None from myself. 6, considerations of changes to the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda? All right. Moving right along. 7, update the board on county engineering projects. Bill, you knew we were going to get you to do something on your last day, right?
Yeah,
That's okay. Yeah.
it's not my last day, but my
Yeah.
last meeting probably. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. So we have 3 projects right now that are under construction, so I'll start with those. And then if you indulge me a little bit, maybe do a little bit of reminiscing on some of the previous project. So the Rock River, I call it Rock River Demo. It's 219 Avenue C demolition project. It was supposed to get started a few weeks ago, but the DEQ requested to do a on-site asbestos inspection. And they actually, when they did that, they found an additional room that Tri-Hydro had not discovered when they did their original inspection. And lo and behold, that room had some suspect materials in it. And so they sampled those and they did have a minor amount of asbestos. And so that delayed things by several weeks. So I've been told that they're supposed to mobilize today and start demoing tomorrow. So that project is back on track. And hopefully will only take a few weeks to demo and clean up that site. Because the asbestos was very minor amount, there's really no special disposal requirements for that material. So should not really affect the cost of the project significantly. The chiller replacement project may be all in front of, oh, somebody's on the line. Heber.
Good morning, Hubert.
Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks.
I'm having an amazing, ridiculous Monday. I can't move. So, do I need to call in on Zoom or can we do it just like this?
If you can hear us, Heber, that works for me. If it works for you.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. I just didn't know if the Zoom audio and all that stuff is tolerated.
Yep, looks like it's working.
Okay.
All right, Bill, go ahead, please. Thanks.
Okay, so in regard to the chiller project, it will be delivered tomorrow morning. We're going to need to commandeer part of the west, essentially all of the west parking lot for a couple hours. The contractor we'll have a crane on site and we'll unload the chiller and remove the old one. And they hope to be done around 10, but I would say certainly by noon they should be done unless something goes major wrong. So it'll be a little bit of an inconvenience, but that'll get us one step closer to having the chiller reconnected, or the new chiller. It will take about 3 weeks to hook up the new one. In the meantime, the contractor has done a temporary bypass to the free cooler. And so we will have a little bit of cooling, hopefully over the next 3 weeks. So until the main unit gets reconnected. So cross your fingers on that. This doesn't get too hot in here. The third project, I guess, that's ongoing right now is the county building access control project. And that had to undergo a temporary hiatus because of the contractor's schedule, apparently. They had some other project they had to switch over to. And then in the meantime, they ended up with some COVID exposure issues. The person that was our main technician ended up with possible exposure. So they couldn't even really work on the project that they pulled off to do. So I do expect them to be back shortly, perhaps even this week, but I'll get a hold of them in the next day or so and find out what their schedule is for sure. They're about 70% complete on the project overall. So it shouldn't take them too long once they get back. That's pretty much my update. I would like to thank everybody that I've worked with at the county. It's been a great group to work for and with, and I've always felt as part of the team rather than a contractor or kind of an outsider. And believe it or not, it's been 13 years as county engineer. And prior to that, I actually did several county projects. So I've been working with these same folks for about 18 years. And some of the projects are really kind of near and dear to my heart more than others, I guess. Just a few that kind of stick out are the Garrett Road and Tunnel Road bridges. You know, bridges are pretty boring, I guess, for the general public, but when it's, you know, in your neighborhood and it allows the guys that plow snow to cross the bridge rather than drive 27 miles around to get to the other side, it probably makes your life a little better, right? And so those were some important projects. The Palmer Canyon project not too long ago, when after they had the big flood up there, washed out a significant portion of that road. And I think we need to really be thankful for Amy Binning's hard work and persistence to get the FEMA the money that we were able to get for that project and restore that road. Prior to it washing out, it was essentially a four-wheel drive road, really. I mean, you could take a car on it, but it really beat it up pretty good. And after that, as we were actually building the project and putting gravel on the road, a Beamer BMW came up the road where a week before I wouldn't have even really wanted to take my four-wheel drive truck. So that's a significant change, certainly in that part of the county. Another project that I think was pretty amazing was restoring the Big Brothers Big Sisters building in town here. It transformed the building from kind of a dumpy, make do kind of area to really a pretty nice facility for those young people. And and all the people that work there. And then, of course, hospice, we had an amazing product there with that new building. And probably the one that I think was the most transformational was excuse me, the Lincoln Community Center. Those people struggled for years prior to getting a grant from the state of Wyoming. And Sheila Schermitzler was very instrumental in that whole project. A group of people that worked tirelessly to get that project done. And I know it didn't really turn out exactly the way they had envisioned, but on the other hand, it was a significant enough change. That building didn't have 1 foot in the grave before they did the project. It had pretty much its whole body in the grave, except for one little hand sticking out. And we were able to pull on that hand and pull it out of the grave. And it really has transformed, I think, that part of town, that community over there on the west side. And those are the projects that really are memorable for me and really put a face on civil engineering. You know, that's what we're all about, is to build infrastructure. And we always talk about infrastructure as this kind of cold, impersonal thing, but really it's making people's lives a little better, hopefully. So I've been real fortunate to be part of those and many other projects that hopefully have made people's lives a little better in Albany County. So I just feel really lucky to have this opportunity.
So Bill, thank you. On behalf of the commission, I've had the opportunity to work with you for 2.5 years, and I have been amazed and really grateful for how you brought me along and worked as a team. I think collaboration, as the older I get, is so important. And I think about you and many of the people in this room when I hear about government workers being denigrated. And then I think about the Lincoln Community Center and what that's done, and the Big Brothers Big Sisters and what that's done to that community, and some of those roads that you helped open and people have made lives better. And so for me, I'm in agreement. Infrastructure should be about people. And I think those projects you listed, along with one here out front, is another one. I think about those stairs and how difficult it was to navigate those stairs with my big foot. And if I'd been 70 years old, how easy it was to slide off that thing and cause real damage. And so now we have this amazing front that is accessible to people of all kinds and all abilities. And I think that is a real statement about who matters. I think we all matter. And I think your work has gone to make sure that all people mattered. So we'll miss you. I personally will miss you. I know that we'll have a contractor that will follow up behind you, but I don't think they'll be the same. I hope they'll be close to the same, but that's a pretty high bar. And that's pretty high expectation for any one person or one organization. And I really do appreciate it. I hope you won't be a stranger. And I hope you come back and come give public comments when we've got her going good and when we've got her going sideways, so that you can keep us on the straight and narrow, because 18 years, I think, affords you the opportunity to have a comment or two. So thanks, Bill. I really do appreciate your service, and thank you for your generosity. I signed some vouchers that I always thought the county got into your pocket, and I never thought you got into the county's pocket. And so I think you donated a lot of time, and of course, expertise, and then love of this county. So thank you so much. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I always tried to make sure that, not every decision I made was the correct one, obviously, but tried to do the best I could for the county. Put them above my my own personal needs. So. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. Yeah, Roy, please do. Please step up, and if anybody else would like to say something, please feel free.
I'm gonna miss Bill a lot. He's invaluable to my department, and I'm sure the other guys will come through. But this front entry started with Bill and I going into the Sallyport, and I think it was the first month I started working there. And I found out we had a county engineer call him in there. I said, "What's this look like to you?" And we had concrete that was breaking off that was this long and rebar exposed, and it was a matter of time before maybe that collapsed on top of, and who knows, people would have been there or whatever, not to mention the dangerous stairs. But Bill got the right people in there to write reports. We got pictures and we took them down when we all went down. Jackie, remember, to the governor's meeting with SLIB, and that helped so much for presenting our case for this being a health or danger, safety hazard. So I just want to thank Bill for everything he's helped me with too, because a lot of the stuff that I deal with is beyond my scope of knowledge, and it's always good to have somebody like Bill there. So I'll miss him.
Yeah, thanks, Troy.
Bill, I just want to say I didn't get the opportunity to work with you much. I know you're very well respected. Most of you in retirement, take advantage. Don't live.
Well, thanks, Bill. I appreciate it. Item 8, proclaim July 1st as Barker Dog Foundation Day. Sherry, I hope I'm not going to mess it up, but Buckbinder, founder and executive officer. And my apologies if I've messed up your last name.
No, you got it perfect, Chairman. Thank you so much. It is Sherry Bookbinder. Thank you so much, Chairman and Commissioners and staff and attendees, for including us in your agenda, and also for the proclamation.
Could you tell us about Barker Dog Foundation a little bit?
Barker Dog Foundation, we're here to help. Our mission is to improve teams' effectiveness through education, communication, community outreach, which we're hoping we'll be able to work with Albany County to do that. And this will also include not just working dog teams, such as therapy teams, crisis response teams, service dog teams, but also pet owners with their dogs and handling and learning more about that human canine bond and connection and how things and emotions travel up and down the leash.
Well, thank you.
I also have Dr. Kip Leland here, who is our Vice President and Board Chair. She'd probably like to say a few words as well.
Sure.
Hi, we're just happy to be here and be a part of this organization. It's an amazing organization.
Well, welcome to our agenda, and I'm fairly certain you're new to Albany County, this foundation. Is that correct?
That is correct. We're actually going to officially launch on Thursday, July 1st, and at the at the Depot Park North. Sorry about that. From 5 to 7 p.m. And we did include an invite with our email through the clerk's office. So we're hoping that those of you will be able to attend and learn more about what we're doing and how we're here to help the community.
All right. So thank you so much, Commissioner Ibarra. Did I entertain a motion for the proclamation? Second. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, guys. And it's Barker Dog Foundation Day on July 1st. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right. Item number 9, present for approval, agreement among Wyoming Department of Health, Public Health Division, Albany County WIC program, and Albany County to set forth the responsibilities of the agency, the local WIC agency, and the county in providing program benefits of the USDA Food and Nutrition Services from July 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2022, in an amount not to exceed $178,480. Is Kristen Russell available? Yeah, I don't see her.
If she's not,
Okay.
commissioners, good
Thank you,
morning.
Jennifer.
This is the annual contract, or this is the extension of this WIC contract from July 2021 through December 31 of 2022. So it's an 18-month contract to provide those WIC services that Kristen is the director of the WIC program for Albany County. So you have this on today, and then at your meeting on the 6th, you'll also have an amended lease agreement for the upcoming year and to add some additional space for additional office space that they're using now as they expand the services that they offer to the county.
Commissioner Rivera? Any questions? All right, entertain a motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 10, present for approval memorandum of understanding between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming and Albany County Fire District Number 1 for Rail Tie Wind Project Impact Assistance Funds. Jennifer,
Good morning. I'm not certain if Megan's on. I didn't look.
I didn't see her.
This is the agreement for our impact funds that we are including the fire district as part of the county's request, which was the recommendation of the Industrial Siding Commission. So this is the agreement between the county and the fire district for distribution of those funds to the fire district once they come in however it is they happen to be approved by Industrial Siding.
Is there a percentage or is there an
It
amount?
will be a pro rata basis. We have to make some adjustments to the dollar amount of funds. Initially, there were $13.5 million in impact funds available. We got notice, not last week because I was out right at the end of the week before, that there was a miscalculation. Things had been included in those impact fund calculation numbers that shouldn't have been. So the actual amount of impact funds has now been reduced to $12.4 million from $13.5 million. So I'm going to be working with all of the county departments that submitted the additional impact fund requests so that we can get our numbers so that we're not coming in combination with what the city has requested above that $12.4 million.
Thank you, Jennifer. Commissioner Rivera, any questions? Commissioner Richardson, any questions?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 11, present for approval contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming, by and through the Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Program and Education Health Center of Wyoming, Albany County Community Health Clinic for psychiatric nurse practitioner services for program participants from July 1st, 2021 through June 30, 2023 in the amount of $2,300 per month, not to exceed $27,600 per year. Rebecca.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Commissioners. This is the contract for psychiatric nurse med management for our court supervised treatment program.
Commissioner Rivera, any questions? Commissioner Richardson, any questions?
No, sir.
I'd entertain a motion for.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Present for approval, a contract between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming, by and through the Wellness County Court Supervised Treatment Program and the Clinic for Mental Health and Wellness LLC for individual treatment services for current participants from July 1, 2021 through July 31, 2021, in an amount that shall not exceed $7,400. Rebecca, yours again. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So this is just a temporary contract to ensure that we are providing individual outpatient treatment for program participants in our court supervised treatment program. The next contract providers won't be fully ready to provide that service until closer to August 1.
Commissioner Vera, any questions?
Yeah, Rebecca, is this both for the juvenile as well as the adult?
I'm sorry, ma'am, I couldn't hear you.
Is this both for the juvenile program as well as the adult?
No, ma'am, adult only. The juvenile contract we have in place and they are ready to begin on July 1.
Commissioner Richardson, any questions?
No, I'm doing just fine here.
Okay. I entertain a motion for item 12.
That we provide 12.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Item 13, award the bid for treatment services for Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Program participants and direct the chairperson to sign the contract. Rebecca.
Yes, sir. Exactly as you already read.
Okay. Any questions or I'll entertain a motion?
I move that we approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all of those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. 14, award the bid for drug testing services for participants of the Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Programs and direct the chairperson to sign the contract. Anything to add, Rebecca?
No, sir. Pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I have a question. So I move that we award the bid for drug testing services. And direct the chair.
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Sure.
Sorry about that, Commissioners. We just opened those bids this morning. And for the treatment services under, goodness, number 13, sorry about that. For the treatment services under number 13, we are awarding that bid to Foundations, which is a company out of Cheyenne. And for the drug testing services, there was one bid for that as well, and that was from Grand Avenue Urgent Care here in Laramie.
Jackie, Kayla, do we need to go back and add those companies' names to 13? And could we return to item 13 and just add that additional to the contract? Thanks for the catch, Kayla.
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move that we approve they award the bid for the treatment services for Albany County Court Supervised Treatment Program participants to the Foundations of Cheyenne and direct you, the chair, to sign that contract.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 14.
I move that.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I'm curious, since we already had a motion, I don't know what the Robert rules are on that. I would just want to make sure that what we did
Was amended.
works in the official process capacity, if that makes sense.
Sure. Okay. The motion was amended. Do you agree with that amendment? So
Yeah, we'll say we're amending the original, right?
Right.
Then second agree.
Okay. And let's just take the vote again, just to make sure. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion with the amendment carries. Item 14.
Mr. Chair, I amend my original motion to clarify that the bid for drug testing services be awarded to urgent care of Laramie, Wyoming,
Grand Avenue.
Grand Avenue. Sorry, Grand Avenue Urgent Care.
Yeah. Second, do you agree?
Second.
No. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Rebecca. Item 15, award the bid for custodial services for the Albany County Courthouse to Wilkin Enterprises LLC. Roy, please, thank you.
Chairman, Commissioner, and Commissioners, let's see where we're at.
15.
15, okay. Award the bid to the Wilkin on the courthouse. They've had the contract for a few years, and so this will be another 2 years, or is this only for 1 year? Jennifer, it's 2 years, correct? Okay.
Commissioners, any questions? I'd entertain,
None for me, Mr. Chairman.
thank you. I'd entertain a motion for 15.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve item 15 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Item 16, present for approval agreement between Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming and Wilkin Enterprises LLC for janitorial services of the Albany County Courthouse in an amount not to exceed $60,000 annually. Roy, anything to add to that?
No, not really. It explains it right there. It's just the amount is included.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion or questions.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve item 16 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign, please. Motion carries. 17, award the bid for custodial services for Albany County Public Health to Johnny Johnston Custodian. Roy.
Yeah, this is for the Albany County Public Health Building. Johnny Johnson has done a really good job over there, and they're very happy with him. So I would be awarding the bid to him. And he's been the one cleaning it for the past maybe 4 or 5 years.
Okay. Any questions? I'd entertain a motion for 17, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we award bid for custodial services for Albany County Public Health to Johnny Johnson Custodian.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 18, present for approval the agreement between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming and Johnny Johnson Custodian for janitorial services of Albany County Public Health in an amount not to exceed $10,500 annually. Roy, probably nothing to add, but if you had.
No, nothing there, just amount there.
Okay, entertain a motion for 18.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve item 18 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 19, award the bid for custodial services for the Albany County Annex Building and Albany County Office Building to 7220 Commercial Cleaning. Roy.
Yeah, that county office building is 501 Ivinson, and that's 7220 Commercial Cleaning. It's had the contract the past couple of years and done a good job.
Questions? Entertain a motion for 19, please.
I move that we award or we approve item 19 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. 20, present for approval, agreement between the Board of Commissioners of the County of Albany, Wyoming and 7220 Commercial Cleaning for janitorial services for the Albany County Annex Building and Albany County Office Building in an amount not to exceed $4,080 annually. Anything to add, Roy?
No, just
Okay. 20,
I move that we approve item 20 as presented. Heber,
Second.
no, it's moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 21, present for approval, fire alarm preventive maintenance agreement between Albany County and Rocky Mountain Fire Systems Incorporated in the amount of $681. Roy.
Yeah, this is a contract between us and Rocky Mountain Fire Systems. They're the ones that actually installed the fire panel, and they know more about it than anybody else. They service several buildings throughout the state, and they do a pretty good job. I think, Jennifer, this is the original copy. Wasn't there some language in there that do we have to change? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna print out. We just need to strike the language about the annual renewals, or
Yeah.
the automatic renewals.
Yeah.
So we'll just redline that out.
Okay.
And it's something that's mandatory, by the way, now that the city's been going over a lot of these stuff, the stuff that's just kind of been going by the wayside. And so these are things that should have probably been done quite a while ago, but now it's definitely mandatory.
Okay. Questions, commissioners? 21, I'd
None
entertain.
for me.
I'd entertain a motion for 21, please.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve item 21 as presented.
With the edits that were mentioned.
Yeah, with,
Yes.
sorry if we had the edits to that, Heber, striking out the
Oh,
automatic.
yeah, I apologize, including striking the automatic renewal language from the contract.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. 22, present for approval memorandum of understanding between Wyoming Supreme Court and Albany County for the purpose of providing a virtual private network connect to county employees with the district court clerk's office. Stacy, good morning. Thank you.
Morning, Commissioners. This is basically an update to the VPN for our computer system that we will be switching to come July 12th for our new case management system. And the VPN we currently run was not sufficient to run the new system that we have. So the Supreme Court has upgraded that system. Our IT department is aware of what needs to be done. They have reviewed the contract and they are good to go as soon as it's approved.
Yeah, thank you, Stacy. Any questions, commissioners? Will this facilitate at some point electronic filing?
Yes,
I know there's some attorneys
yes.
pretty happy about that.
That is the next step, once
Yeah.
we get the new system rolled out. So
Awesome. I'd entertain a motion for item 22.
Mr. Chair, I move that
approve
we,
item 22 as presented.
second,
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Stacy,
Thank
and your
you.
office for doing the extra training to get this up and running. I can tell you how many attorneys I know that are so excited about the opportunity to file electronically.
yes, we're
Yeah.
hopeful that it might take a bit, but we're on the right track anyway now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Item 23, ratify amended resolution 2021-019 for the grant application to the Bureau of Justice Assistance 2021 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Grant to the amount of $7,773.45 to support the purchase of bulletproof vests for the Albany County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Applehands, good morning.
Morning, Commissioners. This is a grant application with Bureau of Justice Assistance that we get with every year. It's a matching grant between the county and BGA for bulletproof vests for my department. So it's a little bit higher this year because we have a little bit more turnover than in past years, but same as what we've done.
Commissioners, any questions?
None for me, Mr. Chair.
All right, I entertain a motion for item 23.
I move that we approve item 23 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Sheriff. Hope you're here again. Present for approval, a memorandum of understanding between the Bureau of Land Management, Wyoming State Office, and the Albany County Sheriff for the increased protection of persons and property on the public lands and roads administered by the U.S. Department of the Interior, Bureau of Land Management, through cooperation between the Albany County Sheriff and the BLM.
Again, commissioners, this is an MOU similar to the ones that you've seen in the past with agency cooperation. This one's with BLM for any type of law enforcement services that we might need help with the federal government. And conversely, on the other side, federal government can only enforce federal laws. And so if they have any law enforcement issues on their lands that require our assistance, that's part of the MOU as well. So it also includes any type of emergency management situations that arise on their lands as well.
Commissioners, any questions? Entertain a motion for 24, please.
I move that we approve item 24 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Item 25, award the bid for the Albany County Detention Center medical contract for inmate medical services and direct the chairperson to sign the contract. Sheriff Applehans.
We received no bids. So what we're going to ask you guys to do is extend the deadline to get those bids in until July 19th. Already spoken with Jen over here. And she's drafting up a resolution to get that done. But that's what I'm asking of you guys today.
Okay.
And actually, since we didn't have any bids, we will just draft an addendum to the original RFP so that we don't have to go through the expense of republishing. And then we'll send that RFP out. My understanding from Sheriff Applehans and from Kayla in the clerk's office is that there have been several inquiries and several requests for people who have asked for an extension of time. So we'll get that addendum drafted with that extension, and then we can get that out to everybody to give them more time to respond.
Okay. Do we need to approve that addendum today?
It probably, but I don't have it drafted yet. If you verbally approve it, I will get it written up and to the clerk's office today so that it can be supplemented to the RFP.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure, go ahead, Commissioner Richardson.
I guess my question is, so I'm prepared to make a motion, but it would include a time period of extension on the current contract. And I wonder if anyone there can speak to how much time is going to be required, because we wouldn't want to have to extend it again if we want to, work.
Out of the companies that asked for an extension, they asked anywhere between 3 weeks to a month. And that was about a week to a week and a half ago. So I feel that the July 19th deadline that I proposed today will meet those requirements. And the companies that were interested will have sufficient time to go ahead and submit competitive bids.
What would happen if the motion was to extend it to July 31, so that it's in whole months, with the current provider?
We have some other issues with the current provider in terms of their contract is done July 1. And then we are going to they're not looking to extend their contract past July 1. And so we're already in contact with them of finding some other options for the statutory requirements that we have at the jail medical for the 3 weeks
Gotcha.
that we don't have
So July 19th, is that the appropriate day for me to, well, I guess, wait a second, then if we're not going to extend the contract because they aren't interested in that, then maybe we're just amending the RFP or adding an addendum to the RFP.
That's exactly what we're doing.
Okay, and the addendum will essentially extend it to July 19th.
That's correct.
Well, I'm prepared to make a motion as long as y'all are ready for it. I don't know if Commissioner Ibarra has any questions.
Nope, we were ready for you, Commissioner Richardson.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we extend the detention center medical contract for inmate medical services. The bid deadline to July 19th, 2021. And we approve the addendum to the RFP.
Second.
The moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
I forgot to add that the reason why I added July 19th is because you guys have a meeting on July 20th. So we'll receive those bids and then open them up at your county commissioners meeting in mid-July.
Okay. Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you for your
Sheriff. I
flex.
appreciate it.
Nope. Thank you guys for your flexibility. Appreciate it.
Present for approval, quote for Lewin Technologies for VMware support renewal in amount not to exceed $14,936. Adam, good morning. Floor is yours.
Good morning. Thank you for the time today. This is our renewal quote for our VMware licensing and support. You'll see it's down from our yearly costs at about $6,000.
Yay. Any questions,
That
Commissioners?
never happened.
All right. I entertain a motion for 26 then, please.
I move that we approve item 26 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 27, present for approval, purchase of Dark Trace Enterprise Immune System from SHI through the Omnia Partners contract for the state of Wyoming in an amount not to exceed $64,476. Adam.
Camera's spun off. That's better.
Yeah.
So this is a network monitoring agent. It's looking at all of the inbound, outbound network traffic across our entire organization, as well as a 365 integration for any anomalous login. So what we're trying to do here is provide and use some form of a security tool set to continue to secure us against possible exploits and or ransomware hits, so on and so forth. This is a 4-year contract. I was trying to give myself essentially a $15,000 a year set to find something that was going to continually help improve our security posture as a whole. We've been demoing the product now for about 3 weeks, and it's become instrumental in our office, not only just for security and network security in its whole, but also just general network cleanup and diagnostics. So it's been nice to have a multi-feature set in those manners. I can continue to go into what the product performs and or provides. If you guys are interested.
It's interested, but not sure I'd understand.
So the concept behind it, it's a behavioral based AI analysis. So essentially it sits in our environment and learns our general normal behaviors, and then it alerts and or reverts actions that are outside of our normal base. Of course, an attack being something very abnormal. So it essentially determines and sees, okay, general work, these are the things that you connect to, these are the things that you normally do. Oh, this is outside of your normal scope. We have this budgeted in terms of essentially securing the server side. And so if any of those step out of bounds, there's automated response there, and that'll help secure us as well as our elections infrastructure. And then alerting on the client and the workstation side. So, this person is moved out of this way. It's given us incredible visibility into what's happening across the network, and has helped us remediate several threats even since it's been here and learning. So it's been a little chatty at first just because it is in a learning state, but we're fine tuning it in its whole. So does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Just tell me, Adam, am I setting it off?
No, nothing there. You'll hear from me in that case, and a lot of times you don't. We just remediate based on what we're seeing. So,
And Adam, what is SHI? I couldn't find it in the document ever, that acronym.
SHI is it's a selling partner, partnered on the Omni partnership with the state.
But what does SHI stand for?
I don't know. That's just their company name. They're one of the major resellers in the game there. So Semerald, just like a reseller is Lawan, so on and so forth. They're just the ones that are named on the Omni partnership for that pricing at the state contracted level. Hence, we're purchasing through that means.
And Adam, will this technology block other commissioners who email at all day and night?
No, it will
come at a more reasonable hour.
No, it won't do anything like that, but it does, there's a, kind of like a Russian IP that's trying to access your account. It alerts us there and will perform remediated blocks. To keep it within a general pricing set, we did keep the automated revisions down to essentially the server count. So we didn't license all the workstations and such. So the 365 side in your case is an alert that comes to us at any hour in the night. We perform the actions to remediate there. But as I've said, it's given us amazing insight, and we've already made it well worth the while.
I'd entertain a motion for item 27, please.
I move that we approve item 27 as so greatly presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing.
Mr. Chairman.
Sure, go ahead.
That's the reason why I have never put my county email on my phone, because I don't want to get notifications all night when I'm sleeping and stuff. So.
That's the offending party. Yeah, that's a good idea. So hearing and seeing that, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, all those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. 28, present for approval. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Present for approval, approach license for Dan Smith on County Road number 51, Two Rivers Road, located in section 23, Township 17 North, Range 74 West. Rob, are you there with us?
He asked if I would just speak to it.
Okay.
Not that I have a lot to say about it. He just said that everything was good to go, that he had reviewed it and the attorney had reviewed it and everything was good to go. So.
All right. Any questions, commissioners? Entertain a motion for item 28.
I move we approve item 28 as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, all those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. 29, present for approval, recommendation from Health Insurance Management Team to award the health insurance bid to Cigna. Mr. Decker, good morning.
Good morning.
Nappily dressed here on a Monday morning. The floor is yours.
Sorry, I didn't get this to you sooner. I'm going to give you an overview of what we presented to the health insurance management team, and there's more information here. Should have came organized here, right? I'm going to give you one more item. Well, thank you for the opportunity of visiting with you a few minutes. If you'll turn to the first page, I just want to have you note that we did go out to bid, a formal bid, to look at your overall health insurance program. And we did take it out to stop loss carriers as well as other providers. And I've given you a little bit of a laundry list there of kind of the results of who submitted a bid and who didn't.
Our current situation simply says, if you'll go to the current situation there, it simply says at this point in time, we have spent, Albany County, the health insurance program as a whole, has spent $1,374,817. But you've also noticed that there's a thing called ISL. It's in red. Simply says that the stop loss carrier received claims in excess of $65,000. We are a self-funded program, simply saying that we self-insure up to $65,000. After $65,000, then we look for reimbursement from the stop loss carrier. And so net claims all total is $1,374,817. The projected performer here is saying that we probably are going to land around $1,759,462. As of right now, we're running a 99% loss ratio on projected claims. We did receive a rate increase from Blue Cross and Blue Shield of 5.14% and 3% increase in the administration costs. Now, the stop loss amount there, I'm going to have to take and have kind of tongue in cheek here, because when we did go out to bid, as the health insurance management team can attest to, we did not have firm rates from the stop loss carriers from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. They just gave us a preliminary one with the contingency that the stop loss carrier wanted to look at the claims for the month of May and then make a determination how they were going to do the renewal. But the initial renewal, the preliminary one, which was not firm figures, indicated about a 5.14% increase. If you'll turn to the next page, it just simply shows the census that I was working with. And if you go back and you try to play with the numbers, they're not going to come out because the numbers are not always static during the course of the year. So in order to come up with apples to apples on what the rates should be projected going forward would be, that is the census that I worked with, and also the census on where we are currently. So what it really looked like, initially, we would have about a 4% increase. And then I indicated that we're looking at about $1,890,515. Currently, the way we're paying premiums and the premiums that we have going into your plan, it will generate about $1,916,000. I also show you the breakdown on the claims administration. Now, that's just the administration of the plans. And currently, we can see that Blue Cross is charging $68,660. And their renewal indicated it would go up to $72,072. Cigna administration came in at $58,295. And you see that's University of Colorado has their own TPA. My understanding is they pretty much administer the hospital here. So consequently, we kind of looked at a program, what if we kind of worked with that program, and the TPA there, UC, came in at $49,440, but they were going to have to utilize the stop loss from one of those carriers coming in from either Blue Cross or Blue Shield or the broker that I was working with. If you'll turn to the next page, I don't mean to confuse you with a lot of numbers and drag this out, and I'll eventually get to the point here. But I wanted you to know that we did look at this. I want to compliment your health insurance management team. They went through these figures with me, and we came to the conclusion, if you look at putting it all together, you've got Cigna coming in And it shows individual stop loss and ASL. ASL stands for aggregate stop loss. Individual stop loss simply means that we still have the $65,000 that the county is responsible for. But under the case of having an aggregate stop loss, we're able to kind of box this in. So when we look at the maximum number here on Cigna ISL plus ASL, the second part there it says maximum claims to the extreme right, we're 9% under where we are currently. Now remember, we've got dental, we've got claims here that are still going to be coming in after the end of the year. But right now, it would appear that we're about 9% under. Now, one of the things that Cigna has done, and if you'll skip a couple of pages here, and I can go back to those others if you would feel they were important, but I believe that we can skip to page 5 here, kind of move this along. There was stop loss contingencies. I met with the health insurance management team on the 22nd, and on the 24th, I received final bids from Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and we ended up with contingencies on the stop loss. All of them came in with what we call lasered claims. Lasered claims simply means an individual that's going to have an ongoing claim that we know is going to be an ongoing problem. So let's say that I'm working for the county and I've got an expectancy of about $250,000 worth of claims in my life. We're up here on renewal. Well, the stop loss carrier is either going to have to absorb that risk, and insurance is for unknown risk. So if we have known risk, we have to identify that known risk and then figure out how we are going to have either the group or the stop loss carrier absorb that risk. So it can either be done in premium increases to go with what they think it's going to be, or they shift the risk over to the group itself and says anything over the 65,000 up to $250,000 on Bob, you're going to absorb. So that's out of the figures that I've been showing you here. So that's an additional amount. All of the proposals are based on what we call a 12-15 contract, meaning that during this contract period, and let's just suppose for a moment we're January through December to make this simple, we would take that all the claims that incurred during the calendar year are covered under the stop loss contract, but we know if we have a premature baby or something like that in November or December, that claim is not going to be probably paid until January, February, or March of the following year. So we have a contract that protects us against that situation occurring, and it happens more often than a person realizes. So we had bids for 12-15 and 12-18 contracts. Cigna came in with a contract, we call it 12-27, much greater than all the contracts that was being made available. It wasn't that they were using a sales tactic. That just happens to be the nature of the program, of how their program works. Cigna's proposal only requires 11 months of premium, and they're using a $30,000 inducement to make a change to their company. So if you'll turn to the next page, page 6, considerations that was made by the health insurance management team was you could renew with Blue Cross and Blue Shield and add the laser claims to the funding in all 3 plans. And the contract's on a 12-15 basis. And there is no aggregate stop loss that we have had with Blue Cross and Blue Shield for the last 14 years. Blue Cross and Blue Shield is limited in their offerings for controlling costs and additional benefits such as wellness, employee assistance plan, and that type of thing. So that's what that EAP is. Or you could renew with Cigna, and Cigna is giving the $30,000 as a transitional fund for making the change, because they know when you make this change, it costs money to do that. Takes time and effort. You got employees, et cetera. And I'll point out another issue that comes up as well. Cigna is also giving a $10,000 amount towards your wellness benefits. So any wellness initiative that would be approved by them or preventive care, they're going to pay up to $10,000 this calendar year for that as well. The individual stop loss is based on a 1227, the aggregate on a 1227. Cigna is recognized at controlling costs by providers justifying the procedures. And they do have a few more hurdles than what Blue Cross and Blue Shield has. What they basically do is they make the provider justify the procedure. So if an individual was going in for, let's say, just shots in your back, the doctor's going to have to verify that's totally necessary, rather than having the county pay $1,000 or a couple $1,000 per shot. And then it, as well as using the MRI, the PET scan, or a CT scan. They also provide you with what we call one guide services. And that is, if you call most companies, including Blue Cross, and I'm not beating up on Blue Cross, I'm just trying to give you an example, this comparison here. When can you call them? 8 hours a day, Mountain Standard Time. No holidays, holidays excluded, and weekends you can't call. With Cigna, you can call 12/24, 365 days a year. They're really built to try and put the service out there to do pretty much what we need. Now, if you're going to leave Blue Cross and Blue Shield in your current program, remember who the insurance company is. It's the county. It's not Blue Cross. Simply says we have what we call IBNR, incurred but not reported claim liability. Going back to my original example of January through December, we know we're going to have claims come in for the next 3 or 4 or 5 months. Claims that were incurred for the services provided in this contract period we're in now, but being paid outside that period into the new 2021 contract period. I would strongly recommend that we utilize the services of Blue Cross and Blue Shield to do what we call one-out claims. I've given you an approximate figure there. They'll give us the final figure, but it's going to be about $16,275 or in that area to pay them for processing those claims. Hence, that's kind of why Cigna comes in and gives you the $30,000 to help you offset these additional costs. We're going to need the deductible accumulator file because nobody wants to start over with a brand new deductible or a co-insurance amount. So any amount any of the employees have used during this calendar year will be shifted over and given credit should you approve today going with Cigna. So the employees do not lose out. Employee meetings are going to be totally necessary. That's going to be time consuming and we need to plan on those. And then I've got a little comment. I've been very experienced in making changes for a lot of years. Nobody's happy when you make changes as a rule. And there's going to be 2 grumblings that we're going to hear about. And I can guarantee you, and I've already prepared the management team on this. For the first 90 days, individuals that have already satisfied their deductibles and their co-insurance, Cigna by osmosis or whatever means is not going to know what that deductible and co-insurance amount has been satisfied or what that amount is. So once I get to what we call the accumulator file from Blue Cross, I will be responsible for sending that to Cigna. They will be responsible for putting that into their system. However, if we have individuals with claims in that 3-month claims lag that I was talking about, that are ongoing claims, Cigna is probably not going to know anything about it. So we're going to have to use the explanation of benefits from Blue Cross and Blue Shield. And I'll be kind of the center focus for getting that moved into Blue Cross and Blue Shield if it needs to be done. The neat thing about Cigna is they don't do lasered claims. That is probably going to be the biggest problem for self-funded groups under 250. Anything under 250 employees, excuse me, it seems like the stop loss carriers are coming in and they're just pounding groups this size or other sizes with lasered claims. Believe it or not, we had from every carrier at least one lasered claim. And the one that was the top contender to begin with in my earlier figures came back with 4. So it just doesn't make sense to keep battling that problem. So the recommendation from the health insurance management team, and Jackie, jump in here if there's something I'm missing, but that is renew this year with Cigna and continue the same premiums as current. You're not going to need to increase them. And in some figures I'll show you here in a minute, you'll say, well, Bob, we've got some additional money in our reserves. Well, remember, we've got medical trends out there and they're running a lot higher than a lot of people realize. Because of the COVID pandemic, many surgeries that are elective surgeries are not being performed until now. So I think we're going to see a bunch of them start coming in. And that'll probably take some of the amount that we've had pluses on more into a negative balance. Have Blue Cross and Blue Shield do the payout on the claims lag. And then one of the things, good, bad, or indifferent, Cigna does not do COBRA administration, but we do have to have a COBRA administrator. And all the groups that I have utilized that the TPA or the company doesn't provide COBRA, I have found a good outlet for you, and they're not very costly. We do need to conduct a series of employee meetings. Should the board approve the recommendation of the health insurance management team, we're going to need a letter from the board of county commissioners counseling with Blue Cross and Blue Shield and asking them to do the run out claims. I can help you with that. And then we're going to need a deposit check to Cigna for 1 month of claim dollars as well. So the rest of the information I have in your packet, I just showed you what kind of the premiums and how we come up with it. And it's good reading material when you can't go to sleep at night. So with all my, excuse me, so with all my chatter here, is there any questions that I can try and answer?
Commissioner Rivera, any questions? Commissioner Richardson, any questions?
Yeah, I have one. Do we have to amend or rewrite our plan that we're self-insured, and so our, I guess our plan document, that describes to our employees the coverages and how they're done and what's covered and what isn't, what. Do we have to rewrite it to fit Cigna's process, or will they administer our plan the way that it's written?
Good point, and I'll try to answer that the best I can here. Yes, a new benefit document has to come out. That will be the responsibility of Cigna. We'll look at it and we will approve it. We also need to have what we call SBCs. And since we have 3 plans, the 2 options for active and 1 for retiree, so we're going to have a benefit document that addresses all 3 of those, as well as 3 separate SBC. SBC stands for Summary of Benefit Coverages, and that's a federal law that requires us to give those to employees each year and to every new employee that comes in and is enrolling in the county's plan. But that should not be a problem whatsoever. Now, a question I think you're kind of asking, is there going to be a little bit of difference in the plan? Not a whole lot. I really try to warn these companies, do not say we're going to mirror your plan. That's kind of like a suicide situation where nobody can mirror the plan other than the carrier that's incumbent. You're going to see a couple of items that'll be a little bit of a headache. And that's where I was putting here a little dissatisfaction from the employees, possibly for the 90 days. One is the deductibles and co-insurance credits. The other is pharmacy benefits. Pharmacy benefits, you have what we call prescription benefit managers or management systems. And the system that Blue Cross and Blue Shield uses currently may not be exactly how Cigna's Express Script system works. Now, something that's kind of ironic, all the mail order program with Blue Cross and Blue Shield has gone to Express Scripts, and Cigna owns Express Scripts. So that should have some similarity, but that doesn't mean that we can't have an individual that comes in and they're on what we call tier 1 and find out that Cigna puts them on a tier 2. But I've also have seen the opposite happen, and that is somebody on a tier 2 goes to a tier 1. Now, you don't hear the compliments on that. You only hear the ones that's like, oh, darn, it's costing me a little bit more than what it did previously. But we try to work with that as much as possible. One of the things that Cigna does do, and I have been adamant about it, when you're making a change, you do not want to go into pharmacy step benefits, and that is, or step therapy. What we want to do is if a person is utilizing a prescription drug now, maybe it's a brand name drug, and sure, they might be able to use a generic drug, but their doctor's kind of insistent, you just keep everything where we're at. That's the way we have told Cigna, the only way that we would even consider the plan, and they have agreed to. Good point, though.
Yeah. Anything else, Commissioner Richardson?
No, so I think what I gleaned from that answer is that we don't have to change our document, but the kind of the way that Cigna would go about some of the things in it might look a little different. They're going to make us change our document.
Well, the other,
we describe in our document what benefits are going to be provided to our employees.
I have found that actually Cigna gets a little more or a little bit broader in some of their benefits, such as maternity for dependent daughters. Blue Cross doesn't. And so you will see a few more benefits sometimes in Cigna that you don't see in Blue Cross. One of the things that's going to be a bigger issue is there is a separate deductible for out of network. I don't believe we're going to be affected by it. Now, Cigna is the program the state of Wyoming has had for more than 30 years. Cigna is extremely strong in Colorado. and all over the United States. In fact, we had a question not too long ago. Somebody, I think it was in Florida, Jackie, was asking, or somebody goes to Florida, would things be covered down there? Absolutely. They're all over the United States. In fact, they're a global health insurance company. They rank number 4 in the world.
Anything else, Commissioner Richardson?
Nope, that'll do it for me.
Yeah, Bob, I just have a couple of questions.
Okay.
It says all MRIs, PET, CT scans have to be pre-certified by a provider. Is that a Cigna provider?
That would be a Cigna provider, yes.
Yeah. And so who has primacy on that? So if the local provider says this person needs a CT scan, it goes to the Cigna provider, and the Cigna provider says no. Does that never happen?
The provider that's ordering it should be a Cigna provider. I mean, if you're using an out-of-network provider, you're going to have a very substantial deductible. Cigna will work with them as well. All they're saying, they're looking for the necessity of that MRI or that PET scan or that CT scan. As you may or may not know, just like in Casper, there's like about 5 MRIs there. And they're utilized a lot. The question is it medically necessary? And if it's an emergency, you do not have to have that pre-certified. If the doctor is saying it's urgent, it's a fast turnaround on approval. All the doctor is doing, or the provider is doing, is verifying that there's a necessity to this scan, and it is just a matter of convenience.
Okay, and then that same question with regard to pharmaceutical. So a local provider, sort of Cigna, in the Cigna network says this person needs a cancer drug. Can Cigna say no to that? Or
I have never had any experience with Cigna doing that.
Okay.
You know, same thing. You won't even see hardly anything different between Blue Cross and Cigna.
Yeah.
The only thing would be possibly the tiers, just something a little bit different there.
Okay.
But I don't think you would see, my experience has been, I haven't seen anything that plays a difference in the system between Blue Cross and Blue Shield or any other PBM that I've dealt with.
Yeah, well, it's those two events are unfortunate realities that I am very familiar with.
Yes.
And I think that they're nonsensical that insurance companies determine care.
Yes.
But they do that. And I just want to make sure that Cigna is not one of those insurance companies that decides they want to be a doctor from California in Wyoming that's never seen a patient.
Right. And by the way, those situations, they outsource to other organizations rather than doing in-house.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't have any other questions. I'd entertain a motion for item 29.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve item 29 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussions? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion carries. I'd like to thank you, Bob, for coming in today and the health management team for doing the heavy lifting of this. Really do appreciate it.
Well, thank you for your patience for listening to all that.
Okay. Item 30, consider for approval fiscal year 2021-2022 Albany County budget. Tracy and Jackie, good morning. Sunny. Oh, she's not doing it.
She's
Okay.
passing out the big document. But
Okay.
good morning, Chairman Gosar, Commissioners O'Bara and Richardson. I just want to take a second first just to thank everybody, especially you commissioners, for the trust you placed in Jackie and I in this year's budget process. It meant a lot to me being a fairly new treasurer still, and all the departments for their help in collaborating and making this budget year very successful, because in my 18 years with the county, this has probably been one of the easiest budgets we've ever got to work with. But as you know, I'm a little skeptical or concerned about the future years because, Wyoming takes a little while to catch up to the rest of the world on how it trickles down. So as far as the budget, since you've got the paperwork now, there's only been a couple little changes that we've made. First of all, you saw my email on Thursday about the PILT money and the PILT coming in $694,133 more than we had budgeted for this current fiscal year. Of course, that translates directly to having more cash on hand. So in the new document, if you look on the left side, kind of down below where it says estimated cash on hand, I currently have built in $5.2 million for our estimated cash on hand. With everything that is in the budget currently, which included the salary increases or increased positions or additional requests by each department that did so. It includes, I think Jackie said there was a $7 increase, but I'll let her touch on that. Everything leads, and the transfers being made, it leads to having $1,289,839.42 available still to be appropriated. I have my own feelings about recommending, doing additional transfers perhaps to the building reserve or salary reserves or general reserves. That is at your discretion, of course. And if you have more questions on that as we go through, I would entertain any of those. The other item that I have changed is on 1%. The cash on hand as of today was $37,389. Originally, we had built in estimated cash on hand of $61,000 and some change. So this is a decrease of approximately $24,500. So $24,484. To make 1% balance this morning, what I did is I reduced that transfer going into the county general fund down to $37,134, as the general fund does already have that surplus of cash right now. I don't feel it would be missed there. If you prefer I change that number, I would be happy to do so. And the only other thing I think I changed was some cash on hand in the grant match. But that we already had balanced, and also in the county building reserve was just, I believe, $3,000 less than what we originally had planned, but we have more money going in there. And we had only budgeted in there $60,000 for that north entry that could go over. And then generally we just dollar for dollar budget it, so we don't have to come back and amend the budget every time something happens in a building that we need additional funding. So that is all I have. I don't know if Jackie has other things that she would like to add.
Commissioners, good morning and thank you. I have to agree with the comments that Tracy made. This budget session was the first of many that I have been involved with, where I believe the collaboration with all of the Board of County Commissioners and the department heads and elected officials were very open and transparent. I too look at the future and what lies ahead when the funding from the federal government to the state to the county may not be what we've been accustomed to in the past. But I believe with great sound judgment and being conservative, we've taken an approach where we have put monies aside so that in future years, the funds are there. And we are not putting ourselves in a position where in the future, we would have to look at possible layoffs, which basically the employees are the integral part of the operations of the county and make us successful in the responsibilities that we have. There is one change that I propose in the initial notice of public hearing. The estimated general fund expenditures amounted to $14,459,200. $282. Unfortunately, after the notice was prepared, we did have one line item that increased $7. And that was in general accounts for the crime insurance premium. We had initially budgeted $970 and the premium came in the amount of $797.24. And so this morning I made that $7 adjustment to the estimated general fund expenditures. I believe that Tracy has gone through and has described the changes with the amount of the increase in PILT. So today we present to you a balanced budget that we believe will provide the necessary services to operate Albany County and to continue with the services that we provide to the public for which we serve. Are there any questions I can answer?
Commissioner Barra, any questions? Commissioner Richardson, any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, so the budget that's in front of us has all of those things included that Jackie and Tracy suggested.
That's correct, Heber. Yes.
And then I guess the open question then is, are we going to just carry the surplus in the general fund without allocation, or are we going to, I guess, transfer those or assign those to reserve accounts or some portion of it to reserve account? And so I wonder if anybody, I mean, Tracy had some suggestions on that. I think that when we make a motion, we have to be prepared to deal with that. Am I correct?
You are correct.
But that could be handled in a later meeting if we needed to, or would you prefer it to be done today?
I believe if we did it today, we could avoid additional advertising costs because anytime we change the budget for anything, it has to be advertised, public hearing. The public hearing and of course the commissioner meeting is, we can do it at a regular meeting, but it's the advertising that does add up because we might have to amend by June of next year.
Yeah, so the one question that is outstanding in my mind is we funded the sheriff's budget for the first year only, not years 2 through 10, with the idea that there would be an overriding theme, if not a salary schedule, between everybody in the county. And so that work probably has to be done in other entities or in you guys' offices, so that my mind is a 2.5% raise is across the board if that's what we end up doing it, not in one place and not in the other place. So I don't know how to do that by putting things in different places today. But if other people feel comfortable doing that, then we can always make transfers. Is that correct? If we needed to come back at a later date and either marry up to how the sheriff's office proposes their schedule or meet somewhere else. But just having certainty in that would be great, not only for the sheriff's office, but for you guys' offices also, and for this board also to have an understanding of what we would think about budgeting in 2022, 23, 24, and down the line.
If I am,
Mr. Chairman,
you're good, Mr. Richardson.
What I think that you're suggesting, if or for me, when I make a motion, and I think that I agree with it, advertising costs are annoying. They're there. I mean, they're real, but to me, that probably requires a little bit more discussion, so I'm okay with maybe amending the budget sometime in the year when we get that sorted out and advertising that. Or alternatively, transfer more into what I would call it the salary reserve account or whatever that is. I can't remember. And then Tracy stuff. And so.
I was about to say almost what you said, Commissioner Richardson. If we transfer it into the salary reserve, any surplus, it is available for that plan is kind of what I'm understanding. You want to have it there available for the years 2 through 10 in the sheriff's plan and future plans that each department should create. And with it being in the salary reserve, it's also restricted by this actual resolution as well. So it can't just be, the treasurer wants to give raises, she's going to go draw out of there. That can't happen. It has to be done through you guys. So it kind of saves it and protects it there, and also heads toward the use it sounds like that you want to go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know what that number is, and I don't know if we're close or not close. So I don't want to put, let's say 1.2 in the salary reserve account when we only need 500,000, and then we have 700,000 extra in there. That becomes something we can't use on building, or something we can't use on something that pops up like this chiller, right? For instance. So I guess I'm looking for a little guidance on how to do that. Can we leave it in cash on hand? Is that
We absolutely can, yes.
and then will we have to advertise? Will we transfer it into the salary reserve account? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
And just to be clear, so that I understand, anytime we appropriate or allocate money to a certain account, it, for instance, building or the salary reserve, it is then locked into that usage.
Correct, because this is done by county commissioner resolution.
Can we undo it with a resolution from the county commission?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, okay.
That goes along with the public hearing and the advertising.
Right,
piece as well.
okay.
So to me, I think that means this process that we've gone through to publish the budget, to establish draft and publish it and take public comment, have a public hearing that we did at the beginning of this meeting. We could do that if we needed to access some other account, deal with some emergency that comes up or whatever. We just have to have it in the form of a resolution that follows the process, right?
Correct.
Commissioners, what would you like to do? Leave it as it is? Would you like to throw half of it in the salary reserve account? Doesn't make any difference one way or the other to you.
Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
I actually would like to put a little bit in the salary reserve account, but I'm not inclined to whirl it away there and try to solve it for every commission going forward.
Right.
So I propose that we transfer $250,000 to the salary reserve account. And at some point, the department, we'll get it all sorted out with HR, how, kind of what's appropriate, where those jobs land and the competitive rates for, just that whole process. Then we'll have the money there to deal with it if we need to, and it gives some certainty to our employees or some security to be able to see that we're deliberately doing that as opposed to leaving it, in the general fund. And then, and $250,000 is kind of arbitrary, but it's something, and when we look at it from an actuarial standpoint going forward, it'll mean something that'll probably help us out for, prolong or extend what people's intentions are for pay for their employees for another year and a half or something, 2 years.
Thank you, Commissioner Richardson. Commissioner Rivera. Okay. You might need that microphone there.
I would like to put something in the salary reserve today, so it shows that there is commitment towards maintaining the fund there.
Okay, and we can always come back. Christina, are you able to hear us? Kind of the thought of what we'd like to have done going forward personnel wise. And for me, sooner rather than later, I know the sheriff is waiting to tell people what they can expect on year 2. And I think sooner would be great. And then also for you guys' departments, so the people can make a living and feel good about being a county employee. So is that something that you think you can get done fairly quickly? Okay. Well, we'll get that to Christina. So 250,000 is what Heber suggested in his motion. Are you going to second that? Did you move
Well, I
that?
made a motion,
Oh,
yeah, I was just in the matter of discussion.
Okay.
It's just a
Proposing that.
proposal.
Yeah, that seems fine with me. Fine with Sue. Entertain any motion for item 30 that you would have.
Heber, you want to make
Mr.
that into a
Chairman, I
motion?
Guys ready?
Yep, we're ready.
I move that we approve the 2021-22 budget as presented with the addition of a transfer from the general fund of $250,000, from the general fund to the employee salary reserve account.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 And then we'll have to approve the budget. Is that right?
Mr. Chairman, in transferring the $250,000, that leaves $1,039,839.42 cash on hand that we can leave. And at a later time, when you determine how or if you want to make transfers in those funds to other funds, we certainly have that money available to do so.
And, okay. And then I think, can't remember if we approved the fiscal budget in that motion. Did we?
He did. He
My
made the motion to
motion included,
Perfect.
approve the budget.
yeah, it was to approve it with the addition of the transfer of the $250,000.
Okay, well, I think that's been taken care of. I'd like to say thank you to Jackie, you and Tracy, your offices, but also everybody's who created their budget and did it in such a timely way that the three of us could sort through it. And it's nice to be in a place where you can not be so close to the bone, but you can have future ideas about how to pay people. For me, the county employees are the most important asset that this county owns, and that we hope to, when they leave at 5 p.m., that they'll come back at 8 a.m. or whenever their shift occurs. And so if we can make that happen, I think I would love to see that happen. And so I appreciate all your work. And if Christina gets out in the hold of you and you have an idea of what it might look like, let us know. And then we'll try to, if we don't have one complete salary system, but two systems that are similar in theme, then that's fine. That's fair enough to me. I just want people to be feeling adequately compensated and there to be no disparity between how we pay people. So thank you. I do appreciate it. It's been really helpful to me and hopefully this commission. So yay, we're done.
Yay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, seeing no business before the county commission, I'd like to adjourn the special June 28th meeting. And there is cake and punch for Mr. Bill Gorman right here on the table. So thank you, Bill. Thank you all. And I guess it'll be after the holiday. Have a happy and safe 4th of July. And we'll see you this following Tuesday. So.